Hey there, I'm Coach Tyler with WeShape. And some of our videos, we talk a lot about different things, but right now I wanna give you a no fluff 5 exercises that are going to be perfect for beginners. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go over side bends, step jacks, sit to stands, glute bridges, and reverse crunches. I'll show you how to do each one with perfect form, and then you can put them together into a simple workout that you can use if you're a complete beginner. Let's dive in. So the first beginner movement is called the simple side bend. It's one of the best movements that you can use to create more flexibility in your spine, as well as work out the sides of the body, the oblique muscles, which are critical for strengthening your core. So here's how to do it with perfect form. You're gonna start with your feet right underneath your hips with your toes facing forward. And let's start with your hands on your hips. From there, you're gonna lean to the side, bringing your body towards this heel, and then move over to the other side. Now, an important thing to note here is that oftentimes when people do this exercise, they almost think about bringing their body down like this. What I really want you to think about as you do it is bringing your rib cage up like that. So instead of crumpling down, we want you to elongate the side of your body as you move from side to side. Now, if this is too easy for you, you can leave one hand over and come all the way over, one hand over and come all the way over, and that's gonna give you a significant more stretch inside your body. One final note here is imagine you're between 2 walls as you do this exercise. So when you do it, try not to turn your body as you're moving from side to side like this or stick your butt out. Really think tall posture and go from side to side, imagining that your entire body is between those 2 walls. The second beginner movement is called the step jack. Now you've probably heard of jumping jacks. And the reason why they're called jumping jacks is because the godfather of fitness, Jack LaLanne, was one of the biggest proponents of them. But jumping jacks involve a lot of jumping and stomping. They can be hard on people's joints. But a step jack is a wonderful exercise for getting your heart pumping, strengthening all the muscles of your body, and it's low impact at the same time. So you're gonna start by putting your feet together like this, and you gotta move slow as you get coordinated in this movement, so take your time with it, right? So you're gonna step out and bring your arms overhead, then you're gonna step to this side and bring your arms back down. Step out, arms overhead, step together, arms back down. And once you get that coordination down, you can start to increase the speed of the movement. And surprisingly, if you do step jacks fairly quickly, it can be an incredible exercise, again, for getting the heart moving and really feeling that pump inside your entire body, even in your shoulders, your hips, your legs, and everything. Plus, it's one of the best ways to prepare yourself for eventually being able to do actual jumping jacks where you're jumping up and down. So, try to focus on the coordination of this movement, making sure you're tall at the top of your head, making sure you're light on your feet, making sure you're lifting your arms as high up as humanly possible, and you'll have a wonderful exercise you can do anytime, anywhere to get your heart pumping. Hey, real quick, before we get to our next movement, if you're enjoying the movements that we're sharing with you and they're helping you feel better in your body, then you'll love the rest of the videos we post over on our YouTube channel. So, click that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon. When you do, you'll get a notification every time we release a brand new video just like this. Probably my favorite beginner movement is called the sit to stand. And the reason why is because it works all the muscles of your lower body. So here's how to do it with perfect form. First, you're gonna start seated in a chair. You're gonna have your toes slightly outside of hip width and slightly turned outward. Now, some really important things here. As you stand up and down, don't let your knee cave in like this, either one of them. What you wanna do is look down at your thigh bone and make sure it's going the same direction as your toes. So your knees are slightly turned out, which means your legs are gonna be pushed out slightly like this. From there, you're gonna put the pressure on your heels, not your toes. When you put it on your heels, you're gonna put a lot more pressure on the hamstrings and the glutes rather than the knee joint. From there, for the first rep, you can always use a little bit of support with your hands if you need to. Drive into those heels, hinge forward from the hips. Don't round your back like this. Hinge forward and press into those heels and stand up. Now, if you can, try to do it without your hands on your legs. So come down slow and controlled by pushing the butt back, weight on the heels, knees same direction as toes, back flat, come down, and then use a little bit of momentum to stand up. Inhale as you go down, exhale as you come up. Try to find a nice rhythm around that. Move slow and controlled at first, and as you start to feel like you have really good form, you can move a little bit faster and a little bit faster. Like I said, one of my absolute favorite beginner movements for the lower body. Take it slow and make sure you practice it frequently because it's gonna help you do everything easier in daily life. One of my favorite beginner movements for the entire backside of your body, especially your glutes, hamstrings, and the muscles of your lower back, is called the glute bridge. So here's how to do that with perfect form. You're gonna lie down on your back like this, bring your heels right up underneath your butt with your toes facing straight forward. From there, and this is really important, drive your fingertips towards your heels like this and turn your thumbs to the outside. A lot of people teach this with the hands down, but that rolls the shoulder forward like this. I want it to work the posture, which means rolling the shoulder back like that, okay? From there, you can just rest your head, drive your heels into the ground. I want this to be almost all of your weight on your heels, if not all of your weight on your heels. Then you're going to squeeze your glute muscles. How you do that is you focus on pushing your heels into the ground, okay? So don't think about lifting your hips, think about pushing the heels into the ground, right? And as you get up to the top position, extend your hips as much as you can and try to really feel those butt muscles. If you need to, you can kind of take your thumbs and be like, are they flexed, right? And then come back down to the start position, slow and controlled, and repeat for reps, really trying to go as high as you can, because that's gonna open up the hip flexors, a real good stretch. And it's gonna work the glute muscles, the hamstrings, and the spinal erectors at the same time. So slow and controlled as you do every single repetition just like this. And if you can't go that high, that's totally fine too. If all you're doing is just lifting your butt off the ground like this and coming back down, that's a totally acceptable variation of this movement. Move that thing slow and controlled. Practice really feeling that glute squeeze at the top, because when you do, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna work those butt muscles like crazy, all right? Real quick, before we get to the next movement, if you're enjoying these movements and they're helping you feel better in your body, then we're curious, which one was your favorite one? Post in the comments and let us know which movement was your favorite. Also, if you wanna share these 5 beginner movements with a friend, make sure to do so we can help them too. The last movement we're gonna cover today targets your core, and it's an amazing beginner movement that anybody should be able to do. So here's how to do it with perfect form, and I'll show you a few adjustments along the way to make it easier or harder. So, just like the glute bridge, we're gonna lie down on our back like this. We're gonna find a good position where our feet are right underneath our hips, and we're gonna drive our fingertips toward the ground, and we're gonna point them towards the ground and turn the thumbs to the outside, pulling the shoulder blades back. So that helps us not round the shoulders forward, pulls them back, okay? From there, you're gonna lift both knees towards your chest, and here's the big kicker here, you're gonna push the lower back into the ground. So if you can lift the lower back up like this, that's not what you wanna do. You wanna push the lower back into the ground. Almost imagine like you're trying to balance your entire body on your lower back, so your tailbone and your upper shoulders are off the ground. Now, if this bothers your neck, you can just relax the neck and really just focus on pushing that lower back into the ground. You're still gonna feel the core muscles activate. From there, we can start by just taking our heels down towards the ground, tapping our heels, and coming back up slow and controlled. Now, if that's still too hard and you can't keep your lower back on the ground, pushed in the ground the whole time, then just do partial range of motion, just a little bit, right? Like this. Now, if that is too easy for you, what you can do is turn the legs into a 90-degree angle and do your reverse crunches like this. And how you know if it's too difficult for you is, did you keep your lower back pressed into the ground the entire time? Now, move slow and controlled as you do this, really focusing on that as the main cue, tall to the top of the head, driving the fingers towards the ground, turning the thumbs to the outside, and guess what? You're gonna work your core muscles like crazy. One of my absolute favorite exercises, and it can be adapted to complete beginners all the way to people who are incredibly advanced. So I really hope you enjoyed that one. Okay, there you have it. 5 amazing movements that are perfect for beginners. Now, we do have something special for you. If you're interested in putting these 5 movements together into a simple beginner follow-along workout, then we made a video for you right here. Just click that link, we'll take you over there, and we'll put these 5 movements into action into a follow-along workout that's gonna help you feel better in your body again. I'll see you there.